How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm just relaxing after a day's training. It was really warm out here today, so I'm shattered.
So tell me, you're in Lanzarote, aren't you?
Yes, that's where I'm living it up, soaking up the sun.
Don't show off.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, I'm loving life.
So how has it been out there, though, in terms of the COVID-19?
Yeah, it's been very bad. We're actually starting week 7 of lockdown from today onwards, and it's been really strict. Like, we can only leave for essentials, and there's been police at every roundabout. And a friend of mine who lives out here at the start of quarantine went for a jog around the block, around their apartments, just outside, and got a €600 fine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Just moving a bit closer.
yeah.
Wow, it's hot here. So you literally are only allowed to leave, get essentials, and then get straight back in your hand?
Yeah, that's the way it was for the first 6 weeks. But now, thank God, we're allowed to go out from Monday onwards, a couple of days a week going running from certain times. So they're starting to introduce like restrictions are coming off and stuff like that. So please be to God that we get back to normal.
So how long have you been living out there, Paul?
I've been out here 5 months. On the 1st of May, I'll be here.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
missing your family?
Yeah, it's a long way away from my family, but I've been keeping in touch with them and stuff. But I know it's for the greater good.
Yeah, yeah. What else have you been doing to keep your spirits up apart from training?
Well, I'm like family with my coach. My coach, me and him's made a great bond. And his wife as well. And I have a little kid, a little boy. He's 2, and I've always wanted a brother. But back home, I have all sisters in the house, and me and the wee man is getting on great. I love like messing about with him and teaching him things. And we have a swimming pool and a jacuzzi out our back.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've been getting in the pool and swimming and just having fun that way.
That's nice. So do you usually get bullied by all the women in your family?
Yeah, they rule the roost. Like, there's no arguing with them.
Hey, as long as you know.
Yeah, I'm well schooled.
So yesterday was supposed to be your debut, wasn't it? Talk
Yeah.
to me about that.
Um, I'm disappointed because like I work so hard, but it's the same with other people too. So I can't really have my head in the dumps because I'm not the only person that this has happened to. But I've been looking forward to fighting in front of my home fans for a long time now because I haven't had much fights in Belfast. It's always been Dublin or overseas or
Mm.
stuff like that. And I was actually meant to make my debut on the Ulster Hall, and then I was took off and on to the Europa show. But I was really looking forward to it, so I'll just keep training and hopefully another day comes up.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the roof was going to go off in that hall when you were
Yeah.
boxed.
I can't wait. Everybody texting me and all, and like from I was a kid growing up, people always says the pro game suited me more, and there's a lot of people excited to watch me box. And what I've been working with my coach is like I've been able to box, but to get results in Dublin, I needed to like either stop them or go forward. So we're working on not being a one-dimensional fighter because I'm known for my punch power and
Yeah,
knockouts, and it's a great time now to just transition from amateur style into professional and work on my technique a bit more, and it just gives me more time. So there's a silver lining in it that way.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. I mean, like you say, you're living with your coach, so I guess that you've got a nice little schedule going, and it's
Yeah.
like having family with you, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really blessed that we get on so well. And there's actually a funny story to it because when my coach used to box, he boxed professionally. He was in New York, and my grandfather trained a world champion, Dave Boy McCULLAGH, and he met you call my coach Jonah. So they crossed paths in New York in a gym, and my grandfather says to him, "Why don't you come back to Belfast and you can train with me and whatever?" And turns out he ended up living in Belfast with my
Wow.
grandfather, and my grandfather trained him, and he lived with us as well whenever I was only about 2 years of age. And fast forward the clock now that I'm living with him and he's coaching me, and he resembles a lot. what my grandfather does in his training. So, like, when I come out for the first time, I was only meant to be here for 5 weeks doing a training camp.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to him about going pro because I know he has great connections. Like, he got me in with David Caldwell's manager, promoted by MTK, and I went home, was home for about a week, and flew back over, and then the rest is history. Like,
so yeah, so you got kind of stuck, but not really, because like you say, you're in the sun.
yeah.
So that's the main thing.
So it's I love it the way he resembles so much of the trainings he does. It's like training with my granda, so I'm blessed.
And that, talking about your family first, I mean, you come from a massive boxing family, don't you? Your dad's a
Yeah.
coach as well, is he not?
My father's a coach actually. He opened up a boxing club called McCULLAGH Amateur Boxing Club, a memory of my grandfather who passed away last year. So he's doing great work there with the kids and stuff. He was Irish champion and he represented Ireland on many of occasions. And then my great uncle called Francie, he represented Ireland as well, and he actually went professional and fought Tony Tucker, who fought Mike Tyson. And then finally, I boxed for Ireland last year, Ireland versus Holland. So there's 3 generations of McCullaghs who have represented Ireland.
That's lovely, that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you feel there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders as well, though.
Yeah, well, funny you say that. I fought in the Ulster Elites last year, my first year entering them, and my great uncle had won them 4 years in a row, and he won at a light heavyweight, and I fought at a light heavyweight and won the same cup. And 40 years on, it was the exact same trophy that he had at his home 40 years ago.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, did you not just give up boxing before you came back and then won that Ulster Cup?
Yeah, I took a break away from boxing, and I moved in with my grandfather, and slowly but surely I just started training with him, and ended up coming back into it. And he passed away as well whenever I was training him, so my heart really wasn't in the sport. And then at Christmas time, my father sent me here after the All Ireland Championships, and I just felt like it was my time to move on, because that wasn't even my Olympic cycle either, and the Olympic wasn't for another 4 years. So I thought that there was not much point of staying around at amateur. And I always loved to want to be a professional boxer from a young age. So I just think it's the right time for me to be here and be away from Belfast as well.
Talk to me about that night though, when you won the cup. I understand that you kind of you've dedicated it to your grandfather.
Yeah, I was very emotional, to be honest with you, like, because he partly trained me coming up to them, and to be honest with you, I wasn't really. I was in 2 minds of fighting in them, and I was looking at my father as well, and I had done all the training, so I just went, you know what, I'll do it. And the fight in the famous Ulster Hall, there was some buzz about it. I loved every second of it. And to be truthful, I didn't think the fight was going to go quite the way it did. I was expecting the fight to go the distance, because I know the guy I fought had fought at senior for a lot of years. And that was my first year as a senior boxer or elite boxer. And whenever I knocked him out, like, I was like, I just lost it, and I was celebrating, and I shed a tear, and I can remember looking at my father and just giving him a big hug, and it brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah, he was obviously looking down on your granddad, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know.
Bless you. So, in terms of you were saying that you're being managed by Dave Codwell. Have you met any of the other boys that he's managing at the moment? Because he's kind of doing the whole coaching, managing thing as well, isn't he? I mean,
yeah.
He's got Charles Frankham as one of them.
He's got Charles Frankham. I actually trained in a training camp as well with him, Ireland and England and Wales. And then I think he has Jordan Gill,
Yes.
Hopi Price, and is he managing Callum, another light heavyweight, as well?
Has he got Callum French?
I think no, he doesn't know. It's just a 4, isn't it?
Oh. You are teaching me something today.
Me and 3 others.
Oh, okay. I can't think.
So it'll be Hopi, Gil, and Frankham then. That's who it is, yeah.
Yeah. So you say any of the other ones? Hopi, do you know him? Have you kind of
No,
had
I've
any?
never met any of the other guys, so I haven't. No.
They're all sort of your age group, though, aren't you? So that'd be quite
Yeah,
nice when you all get together.
yeah. There's a lot of young fighters now turned over to the pro game as well. So it's there's like a new generation of fighters coming through.
Yeah. Now, talking about, you said you didn't want to wait for the Olympic cycle. Look at what's happened now. If you'd imagined if you'd have stayed, can you imagine? Have you got any mates on the team at all? Have you spoken to anybody about,
Yeah,
how that the Olympics have been put back and how they're kind of coping with that?
yeah. That's sheer bad luck, isn't it? Like, I know that Brendan Irvine, he's a former Belfast fighter. He actually qualified for the Olympics on one of his fights. That would be his second year going through. And I've got a good friend of mine, Aidan Walsh. He had his first fight and won. And I can see that he's still training and keeping fit. He's good, mentally strong. So I was just talking away to him, and the best they can do is they're just trying to stay active and train as much as possible.
Is he the brother of McCULLAGH?
McCULLAGH, yeah.
Yes.
They're two great people inside and
Yeah.
outside the ring. Me and Aidan, we actually worked together. We were 2 boxing coaches going around schools and helping children, and he's an absolute gentleman. He's a credit to his family.
I mean, fingers crossed, I know everybody wants to get back into boxing, but that whole 4-year cycle, I just think...
It's a long time, isn't it?
It's a long time.
Like,
yeah.
I sort of say I'm a believer in everything happens for a reason. Like, if I had to stick around for another 4 years, like, I might have not have came here and met John, and I might have not have got like in with David as well. So I'm just enjoying it at the minute.
Yeah, and isn't John an old friend of Dave's? Is that how that too?
John and David, they boxed for the Ingles together, sort of did, at the time where there was Ryan Rhodes as well, and Prince Nazim Muhammad and Johnny Nelson. Like, there were some big names.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, so effectively, it's quite lucky, I think, these relationships that are built up over years. Now and again, we can sort of help each other out, which is lovely. So yeah, let's go back to your family. You were saying there's loads of boxers. I was reading a little thing about your family and how many people are involved. There's loads of them involved in the sport, isn't there?
Yeah, my whole family, like, all my aunties and my uncles, everyone's come around to the gym, and they're doing great work. Both sides of the community as well. We're bringing everybody in, so I'm really happy for them. And I wish it all the best. And I'm sad that I can't be back home as well to help out.
So what have you been doing to sort of keep yourself motivated? You're doing your training. There's loads of people been doing like little competitions and stuff. Have you been doing anything like that to keep your mind?
The thing me and my coach have been doing, we've been going live on Instagram a lot. At the start, it was only me and him. We were just on it, joking and laughing and messing around and dancing. And then, like I said, he has great connections. Like, we were on speaking with Rhodey, who's at Ryan Rhodes, who's a lifelong friend of his, on FaceTime, and just getting general knowledge about boxing and advice. And me and then we were on with Johnny Nelson as well. He was a great lad, an absolute gentleman. So I was just asking all these guys who've been through and done it, like, just advice and what to expect. And then we were on with John O'Carroll as well. We were on talking with him. So we've just been making our own sort of podcast and just talking boxing and the knowledge of boxing with people.
But that's great, because you were saying earlier on you're getting to really work on your craft, but you're getting steeped in history. Although you're having a bit of a laugh and a joke, you're really getting to know a lot about the sport of boxing, aren't you?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, whenever I boxed amateur, I never really liked going and watching boxing and really watching it, because I've done so much of it myself. Yeah. But see, from I've been here, like, I've actually really liked going on and watching fighters and like their training schedules, and I picked up little things what they done and started to use it myself, and I've been really enjoying it and being able to speak to them firsthand and and get to know their knowledge of boxing. Like I've been really I've been enjoying it, so I have.
So you weren't just good at boxing, though, were you? You were a bit special at Gaelic soccer, I understand.
I was a footballer. I was a goalkeeper. And I also played Gaelic and hurling. And whenever I was a kid, I played water polo for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Tried a bit of canoeing, but I got to the level where I didn't want to go back anymore.
I mean, that's amazing that you're multi-sporty. I don't even think that's a word, but
Yeah,
so did you what made you pick the boxing? Was it because so many of your
yeah.
family were involved, or?
This is the funny thing is, I didn't know I had a family of boxers. We never spoke about it. My father never told me. I was coming home from a soccer match, a football match, and I don't know what made me say it. I just turned around to my daddy and I went, "Can I start boxing?" And he looked at me and he looked at me strange and he was like, "What?" And he was me, "Yeah, I want to try boxing. Like I've done everything else." And his words to me was, "Son, if I bring you to a boxing club and you get punched in the nose, don't come crying to me." And I can remember my first spar and I got a jab to the nose and it was sore and my eyes were watering and his voice stuck in the back of my head. And I just got stuck in and I enjoyed it. And then I started to ask him about boxing and he told me he boxed and his uncle boxed and then I was fascinated. So I found it on my own accord.
Nice, nice. You never forget the first time you punched in the nose, do you?
Yeah, I can still remember like it was yesterday.
So, has there been anything that you've learned about yourself in this period of time?
Um, just being like I've just appreciated like things, um, like spending time like on your own and
Mm.
like I've been praying a lot more to be honest with you.
Mm.
I've been praying to God. I've always been religious, and now I've been really like thinking of the stuff what's going on in the world, like appreciating things like family and like just appreciating like small things in life, like being able to go and walk on the beach or just being kind to people. And I've always been like kind-hearted person, but it's sort of yeah, like that. There, I've just reflected on things like that. Just
That's nice. I think there's always good and bad that comes out of situations like this, and quite a lot of the boxers are saying, you know, what's been really nice is to have time, not just about boxing all the time and training, but the time to sort of reflect, pray, you know, really
yeah.
sort of work on their own mind. Apart from obviously your granddad and your dad, who else inspires you?
Ricky Hatton. I've watched every single one of his videos. As a little kid, I had a DVD of all of his fights, and just the style of boxing, his body punching, and his movement. Like I just loved Ricky Hatton growing up, and I met him on a few occasions and have his autograph. He came to Belfast one time, I think. He had a fighter boxing, and he was in the ring, and I met him afterwards, and like being able to meet your idol, like I was like taken away by it, and I just loved him the way he fought and the way his charisma and stuff. So he inspired me to box.
I mean, he's very likable. He was one of my favourites. So is Prince Nazim.
Yeah.
I met Ricky last year, and I totally embarrassed myself. Yeah, I totally embarrassed. I totally
Say
embarrassed.
no more.
Yeah, I'm just not going to say anymore, but I totally embarrassed myself. But yeah, it is great when you've looked up to somebody, and then you kind of meet them,
And
and
then you get to
sometimes
meet
they're
them. Yeah.
horrible, and sometimes they're great. And he was really
Yeah.
great. He was really
Yeah.
funny.
Like
Um,
when because of me being like I think I was 12 years of age. Like meeting someone like Ricky Hatton was huge. Like
yeah.
the media person like that, like it's just sort of thrown back by it. I was just scared to say hello and all. It's a weird feeling, like so it is, isn't it?
Yeah. You said you were scared to say hello. I just talked far too much. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I froze in the headlights.
It was just embarrassing. But So apart from obviously the boxing, the boxing side of the business, you know, in the ring, are you kind of getting to grips with the whole social media side, or you know, because every boxer needs to have a little trick of a trick outside of boxing, don't they?
Yeah. So what, like being like using social media?
Yeah.
Like I've been using social media a lot more now because like I'm a professional boxer and I'm trying to like PR myself, like get my name out there and stuff. I've been using social media a lot for that kind of stuff. Like social media is a powerful thing, isn't it?
Mm. Yes, it can work for you or
Or
against you.
against you. Like as me as a person, like I'm really laid back and chilled, and I would only use social media for like videos of me training and stuff. Like for instance, David Caldwell taxed me to download Twitter because I never even used Twitter, and I set it up and I don't even have the gist of it yet.
To be honest with you, I thought you just joined it because I had a look at it earlier on and I thought, oh, he's only just joined it. It's a minefield because it's like, I think a lot of people just want to box, don't they?
Yeah,
And then there's this whole other side.
yeah, it's crazy. Like especially for even people like of my age, like social media is really big. Like for like who has the best things
Mm.
and like and the way they're presented, like not everything you see on social media is how it is. Like they only see bits and pieces. So like in a way I don't really like social media the artifact.
So, what would you say today has been your most, you know, amazing day
As a like
in terms
professional.
of the sport? In terms of the sport.
Um well saying pro would as of now because I haven't had my pro debut. Because I remember signing my contract and I'd actually forgot. I went to bed and forgot I was a professional boxer when I come out. And I woke up and my phone was non-stop messages and notifications, and I seen the poster of me, and I just it took me back and I went, whoa, this is happening.
Nice. And what would you say is just the worst day of your career thus far, whether amateur or pro?
My worst would be probably losing in the semi-final. I had three tough fights. I was coming off from an injury. I'd hurt my
Mm.
hand on the Irish high performance team, and I went and fought against Holland with an injured hand, come back and done three test matches with my hand busted, and then they sent me for a cortisone injection, so I couldn't do much with it, and I had
Mm.
about 6 to 8 weeks, if even, to train for the All Irelands, and I drew Sean Crowley. He had won the Irish seniors a week before the Irish elite, so there was a senior competition in elite. I fought him on the Friday, and I was down by 2 rounds, and then dropped him 3 times in the third round to win it. And then I fought in the semi-final the next day against Tommy Head, a good respected fighter who had beat me the previous year. I
I was
had a
going to
war.
say, hadn't you
I
had
had a
this
war
thing
with I
going?
had a war with him, and I
Yeah.
got like fight of the year. It went in for out of all the amateur fights. Great respect for him, and then so he was fresh as well. That was his first fight, and I fought the champion who eventually went on to win it, Emmett Brennan. The guy he was meant to fight pulled out, so I fought Friday, Saturday, and then on Monday, and he was fresh, and I ended up losing that fight, and that was my Olympic dream, or not dream, well, Olympic thing. Chances more or less over.
Yeah. But like you say, I mean, life sometimes just throws you a curveball, doesn't it? And then
Yeah,
you take another route. So what are
it
you
was.
planning for the rest of the evening then? I bet do you have barbecues and stuff all every night?
We haven't had a barbecue yet, but coming into the summer, because it's coming into the summer now, we'll be starting to have barbecues. I love barbecues. I haven't had one
Oh,
in a while, so I'm looking forward to having one.
to be honest, you look like you're enjoying being locked down.
See, to be honest with you, I've actually got used to it now.
Yeah.
It's like this is normality to me now, because
Yeah.
when I took a drive out to the shop on 2 or 3 times to get water and stuff, and it was so weird, like not many cars out in the road, and it was an uneasy feeling. So it was just, I'm used to being locked up now. Home
Well, let's
workouts.
hope. Sorry, say that again.
Home workouts.
Well, let's hope that you get, hopefully, to box this year, maybe towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Even if that's like some people are saying in quarantine under closed doors, whatever. I think that's a bit strange, but
Yeah. If needs to be the box behind closed doors and maybe run it off a stream, like I'd be more than happy to do that just to get my pro career off to a start.
I think things are just going to change, to be honest with you, Paul. The way that we watch sport, the way that we communicate, I just think life's changed.
Yeah, I think a lot of things will change after. I don't think it'll go back the way the world was, because people, like when I went to the shop, people were looking at you as if like you had it, like the coronavirus and stuff, and being like, I don't think people will interact with each other as much now. And I love socializing with people, even like people I don't know, just having a chat with them and being friendly with them. Like, not even be able to give your friend a hug or a handshake. Like, I'm a big softie. That's what I do.
Yeah, I think that's the saddest thing about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. But keep positive. You seem really nice and positive, which is great. Looking forward to hearing more about your career.
Yeah.
Until then, though, stay safe.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on and chatting with me. I wish you all the best and stay safe yourself.